What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king. Welcome back to more Let's Play Horizon Forbidden West. In the last episode, we finally began the Forbidden Legacy quest, where we're here to help Alva track down the Leviathan Protocol, which is supposed to, apparently, help her people back home. Now, she is up on the top floor. She kind of passed us on the way up. I need to follow her up there, so let me jump on into the shaft really quickly, the elevator shaft, and make this jump, and up we can go. Right behind her. She was given a much easier path than we were getting up. That was one of the most annoying jumping puzzles I have done in the entire game, but managed to do it.
Come on. Another locked door. Need to figure out the passcode.
These artifacts, I think these were Eileen's. It's every diviner's dream to discover even one of the ancestors' artifacts.
And maybe they'll help with the door.
Oh, that must be the Larson McCory Award. The legacy says Eileen won it when she was 40 for her work on Leviathan.
Interesting. This looks like some kind of prototype.
For water purification. Must be the H2 flow.
What?
H2 flow. Their early inventions had strange names.
It's art, I think.
Could it be? Yes, I think this was commissioned in honor of the company's 25th anniversary. That must be the Dragonfly 6. Ape used it in most of their construction projects. The Dragonfly 6 was their most successful model.
Huh.
Okay, I'm going to try something. I'm going to put in 40, 25, 6.
That didn't do anything.
No. Is that the right order?
That would have worked. Did we overlook something?
So wait, those, I was just guessing the numbers that you said, but maybe I need to do it backwards. Let me try it the other direction. Let's try 6, 25. Oh, what was the frickin' second one? 2, 40.
Not quite right.
Nope, that's not right either. So what is the...
Artifacts on the ground. Maybe they used to be on opposite pedestals.
That is also possible. Okay, well, let's try that then. I mean, I'm just kind of winging it with the numbers that Alva told me here. 2, and then it would be 6, and then 25. Hey, there it is. Holy crap.
See the whole city from up here.
Corner office. Impressive view. It must have been Eileen's.
Let's see if the data on Leviathan is here.
Well, it's official. Eileen Sasaki, CEO, chair, and worst daughter in the world. Security had to escort Dad to his vert. Guess we'll be speaking through lawyers from now on. Looking down at the world from here. It's hard to see the details. People become risk factors, statistics, far too easily. Omuramba was supposed to provide clean water, improve lives. It was easier to pretend there wasn't a problem. Easier to believe the lie was truth. But I don't want to pretend anymore. I will build Leviathan right. No more shortcuts. No more lying just to save face. It won't undo our sins. My sins. But maybe we can still do some good.
She overthrew her father, took over the company, so that Leviathan wouldn't end up killing people.
It sounded like she regretted covering up Omuramba's failure.
She wasn't perfect. Not a paragon, as the Quan believe, but not a monster either. She tried to make up for her mistakes.
And now you know the truth.
As for the data, Leviathan... yes, it's here. Downloading a copy now.
Is something wrong?
I think I'll stay here a while longer. There's a lot more data that I want to look through.
Are you sure you'll be okay on your own?
Down is always easier than up. Let's speak again when we're back at base.
Okay. I'll see you there. Well, after climbing all the way up, why not glide down?
Wait, you're going to what?
Just thinking about it.
Now we're doing it. All right. So, guys, that's it. That is pretty much everything I wanted to do quest-wise in the game. Really, all that awaits us now is the end. Singularity. I mean, obviously, there are still other things like the Enduring. We still have one more melee pit. I need to get the Lowland Clans mark, which is in Thornmarsh, obviously, but that can wait. That can wait. All of the salvage contracts are done. The hunting grounds are all done. Even though it doesn't say that they're done, they are done. We still have the arena to work on, obviously, but all the rebel camps, outposts, ruins, tallnecks, cauldrons, not gauntlet runs, sorry. Survey run drum modules are done, but we need to put those in. We really just have the gauntlet runs, the melee pits, and the arena. That's it. And other than that, it's Singularity. We're supposed to meet at the rendezvous point, but I left a few conversations undone in the last episode. Sorry, I meant the last time we were there. Man, I cannot form sentences today. This is just ridiculous. But yeah, there's a lot I want to talk to everybody about as we prepare for the end. I want to go over some things, and there's also one other person I would like to talk to one last time before all is said and done. So why don't we head off to the base, and in the next episode, Singularity begins. And here we are. Now, first thing I'm actually going to do before I do anything else, before I talk to anybody, is I'm actually going to head up to Gaia's chamber, and we're going to insert the last security drone really, really quickly. Where the freak is that thing again? I'm losing my mind. It's up here. There it is. Okay, we're going to head up here, put this last security drone in. Why am I saying security drone? Survey drone, excuse me. And we're going to actually see what that looks like. Finally put those to an end. This is the last one, and all of the collectibles in the game are done for finally.
All drones are reconnected to the dome now.
Now we can have a look. That looks just like a whole bunch of mountains. Trees, not really much of a view here. It's kind of just a whole bunch of rocks. Probably the least impressive of all of the drones that there was, but at least it's something, I suppose. That's it. That's all of them. Survey drones are complete. We can swap between any of them at any time. Get a nice little view. It's all really cool stuff. But now, let's head back down and let's start talking to everybody as we make our preparations. Don't you worry, I will have a different look for the next episode. This is just for this final episode before what is technically the finale.
Aloy, you think we can talk?
I was hoping we could speak.
Hey, I was hoping you'd show up. I have something for you to commemorate our mission. We did good together.
Yeah, we did. You, talked to Tilda at all?
I tried. I don't think even a hot forge could melt that ice. And you say she wants to help?
I think so. Well, let's hope. Doesn't look like any of our guests are making trouble.
Yet. So, Katalo tells me you flew. Oh, that's new. I've been busting my balls trying to learn to read. You're out there having all the fun.
Don't worry. You'll be getting all the fun you can handle soon. With the Zeniths.
Looking forward to it.
You still sifting through loads of data?
Yeah, it's interesting. There's lots of words. I thought maybe I could try finding things with more, pictures in it. Not much luck there, but I did find out about these holofilms. Like images put together to tell a story. They were made to look like they were the real thing. The Oseram-like shows. I bet they pay a lot of shards for those hollows.
Varro made the right call. Bringing you here.
Thanks. Yeah, Varl. You know, I never knew he had a sister. I found out a few days before you guys went to Gemini. I was, well, to be honest, I was terrified I'd screw up the mission somehow. So he sat me down for a drink. Just one, mind you. And we talked about family. Vala, Ursa, loss and revenge. How you helped us.
You know, we never did get that drink you promised back in the Embrace. And you never told me exactly how your sister escaped the Mad Sun King.
I guess we never got round to it. World ending and all. No time like the present, though. If you're up for it.
You think it's time for us to finally have that drink?
Yeah? I mean, yeah, of course. Oh.
So, how did Ursa escape Mad Sun King Jiran's palace?
Well, first she had to survive the Sun Ring. See, during the war, the Karja threw a prisoner a day in there. And, you know, for what? To die as sacrifices, fighting machines in a pit. Thinking somehow that was gonna appease all the other deranged machines in the world? Ha! And when it was Ursa's turn, the Karja thought she'd go down if they threw a big machine at her.
Oh, but she didn't.
And she defeated all of them. Even got some of Jiran's kestrels for good measure. And the Mad Sun King was impressed, I guess. Thought it'd be funny to have her run around his palace as a servant. He enjoyed humiliating her that way.
I remember you telling me something about that. That's how she met Avad. He helped her escape.
Yeah, but what no Karja scroll will ever tell you is how the young prince snuck Ursa out of the palace. He knew their best chance was to get Ursa to blend in, so he got her everything she needed to disguise herself as a Karja noblewoman. Yeah, perfumes, veils, and all.
I get the feeling she wasn't too happy with that.
Oh man, Ursa would have rather fought her way out of that palace with her bare hands than put on all of that Karja eye paint. But Avad insisted it was the only way, so she agreed under one condition. Avad had to dress up as well.
She made Avad dress up like a noblewoman?
As perfumed and powdered as a babe. Ursa said he looked better like that than he ever did in a crown.
That would, definitely make for an interesting sight.
Oh, it worked like a charm, too. Not only did they make it out of the palace, they paid a traveling merchant to get Ursa to the border, and none were the wiser.
You were right. That was a story best told over a drink.
All good stories are.
I have to go.
I'll see you at the rendezvous point.
A little stilted, kind of hopping between each of those, but gosh, you get some really good dialogue out of Aaron there. Let's talk to Zoe now. I love that we get that little bit of Zero Dawn backstory too, which I always appreciate.
You're back. Good. Before we talk, I wanted to give you this. For helping me heal the land gods. Plainsong is in your debt.
Thank you, Zoe.
You deserve much more for all you've done. May the land always bloom in your steps.
And yours? How'd it go with the chorus after we fixed the land gods?
They were shocked when I told them that our lands would soon be on the mend. I thought Fane's eyes would pop out of his head. But of course they had no choice but to take it as good news, even if it meant all their preaching about meekly accepting our doom was exposed as rot. To be honest, I found the conversation to be highly enjoyable.
I'm glad. You deserve it. They're lucky that you never gave up on saving them. Thoughts on our new Zenith acquaintance?
I'd say she smells like death, but even death smells of something. She's more like a cold piece of metal, bent on repelling all semblance of life.
She's definitely different. Everyone here, training, working together. If it weren't for Varl, none of it would have happened.
You know, there was this one night, right before Varl left with you to go to Gemini. He realized I was having trouble sleeping. I was nervous about the mission. To be honest, I think we both were. So, he asked me to join him in Gaia's dome. He brought up this hologram of Earth that you two found back in the Zenith launch facility. We sat there, just looking at it. I thought about how Plainsong was just a speck on that great sphere. How every corner of it must be teeming with life. And any fears I had about our mission were gone. I miss him terribly.
I know. Ready to head over to the Zenith base?
Whatever comes, we will endure.
I have to go.
Be well, Aloy.
All right, a few more. Let's talk to Alva.
Aloy, do you have a moment? Aloy! I'm glad you're here. I wanted to give you this for helping me get the data on Leviathan. I didn't really know what to give you, so I asked Zoe what you might like.
Thanks, Alva. I'll put it to good use. Have you looked through the data we recovered on Leviathan?
There is much to sort through still, but I believe we'll be able to get it operational and turn back the floods. And I've given more thought to everything we've uncovered about the ancestors. The Overseers would have us believe they were infallible paragons. But Pharaoh wasn't. Not even close. His greed led to machines that devoured the world. The archive of the Old One's knowledge destroyed, just to erase his mistakes. So, when we learned that Eileen had a hand in covering up hundreds of deaths, I started to think they were all the same. Selfish, egotistical, cruel. But, in the end, it's not that simple. The truth isn't a straight line of ink on a crisp scroll. It's a splatter, smudged, and faded on stained parchment. I wish more Quen could see that, instead of looking the other way, or twisting the truth to serve their own schemes.
I doubt Bohai would agree with you.
No, nor the rest of the Board of Overseers. As Eileen said, it's easier to believe the lie is truth, but it's worth fighting for. And this diviner, at least, won't settle for anything less. For that, I thank you, Aloy.
I suppose you saw that Tilda is here. Our very own Zenith.
I almost went up to her to ask her, well, every question I've ever had about the legacy. Every diviner I know would kill to get 5 minutes with one of the old ones. But now that she's here, all I feel is a vague unease. I don't know if I'm scared of finding out more uncomfortable truths, or just scared of her. Probably both.
The rest of us should be enough of a distraction to the Zeniths for you to hack into their network undetected. But you'll have to be quick, in case they do.
What exactly do you expect me to find, Aloy?
I don't know. The truth, if we're lucky. I have to take care of some things before heading out.
Of course. I should continue making preparations myself.
Okay, this is going to be a longer episode, obviously, in case this wasn't already obvious. We're going to talk to Katalo next, then we'll move on to Tilda, and then finally, I don't know if there's anything left for us to get from Silence, but just in case, we'll check in with him before we call this an episode. So let's go say hi to Katalo next.
Did you see Katalo's new arm?
Where's that music the Oseram plays? Aloy, you're here.
I bet people are curious about that new arm of yours.
None more than our Quen ally, I assure you. She couldn't wait to take it apart and figure out how it works. I gave her the data I used to build the thing, hoping that would satisfy her curiosity instead.
Good luck with that. Did you meet Tilda?
There is something about her that doesn't seem natural. I wouldn't be surprised if my sword went through her and she didn't bleed at all.
Honestly, with her, nothing would surprise me. Things will get ugly once the Zeniths realize we're in their base. You'll need every trick you've ever learned.
I would have it no other way. Many soldiers died in the old world to make sure we stood here today. We will endure on their behalf. Though, I am curious how you intend to defeat the Zenith's defenses without an army of our own.
Leave that to me. Just make sure you're ready to fight.
As you say. You have more than earned my trust.
I have to go.
I will see you on the battlefield.
Katalo is locked in. All right. And really quickly, though, I probably actually should check the new armor that I got. I got Utaru Warden. This is Zoe's armor, as a matter of fact. So that's a little bit different in design. Not the one we're going to be wearing in the next episode, but it was worth taking a look at. We also got a couple new coils for our troubles as well. I believe the close range one was given to us by Aaron, which is really, really nice. Now, let's go talk to Tilda.
There you are. Would you like to continue our chat?
What else can we expect to find in the Zenith base?
As I mentioned in the briefing, our goal will be the command center. That's where Beta and Gaia are being held. There are also printing facilities where the others have been amassing the natural resources they've stripped from the region.
What for?
First for use in the base's infrastructure, and then to fabricate more Spectre drones, a small army of them.
When I was out in the wilds, I saw a shuttle take off from the island, heading for space.
It was likely ferrying materials to and from our ship in orbit. After hundreds of years luxuriating in our digital comforts, the ship was barely space-worthy when we made our escape. Disaster can strike at any moment. We've learned our lesson.
Have you figured out how Silence's weapon works?
No, and he's been very careful not to allow me near it. I'll admit it bothers me, but regardless of how it functions, I am confident it will deactivate the other shields en masse.
How many of them are in the base?
10, including Eric and Gerard. Only a handful of us made it to our ship when our colony collapsed.
So, Eric... was he always a bloodthirsty psychopath?
I believe he got worse over time. On Earth, he was the founder of a profitable private military company. A band of cutthroats, in other words. Even as governments abandoned human combatants in favor of automated warfare. He found success with clientele that required a more personal touch. There were also rumors that he personally hunted and killed his targets. On occasion, all for the thrill of it. But on Sirius, he retreated to virtual reality simulations. In them, he could go on rampages as violent as he pleased, though I suspect with diminishing satisfaction.
All of his tribe believes he was one of the greatest people from the old world.
Then they would be quite disappointed to meet him, though I'm sure he'd bask in the adoration.
What can you tell me about Gerard?
He was the head of the world's largest financial conglomerate, and as such had dealings with almost every major corporation. It made him one of the wealthiest people on Earth, and certainly the wealthiest among Far Zenith.
What does one person do with that much money?
Buy more power, more influence. Gerard's always believed himself to be a refined patrician, able to maintain control with a polished smile. But beneath that exterior is a cold and calculating operator. It was his decision to restrict Beta's upbringing to her digital educators, the avatars of the Apollo database, while we were painted as her benefactors.
Well, we'll deal with him soon enough. And the others.
I would very much like to see his face when he realizes we've beaten him.
When I was in the ruins of Vegas, I found data on a man named Stanley Chen. I think he was a Zenith.
Stanley, ever the optimist. He was one of the good ones. When we established our colony, he built an exact replica of Las Vegas in virtual reality. Lights, shows, gambling, every detail perfectly recreated. And while others cloistered themselves in their own fantasies, he flung his doors wide to everyone.
The way you're talking about him, I'm guessing he didn't make it back to Earth?
No, he perished when our colony was destroyed. He would have been thrilled to discover that part of his beloved city survived.
When Beta escaped and hid in an ancient research facility, I saw another one of the Zeniths, Verbena. Who was she?
A dull star amidst a sea of brighter constellations. Unlike most of Far Zenith's members who amassed their wealth through shrewd business deals and technological achievements, Verbena inherited her billions. Her father had achieved great success in the luxury holotourism industry. At age 24, she became the world's most eligible bachelorette, branding herself a life designer. Someone who leverages their fame to influence the choice of others.
What, like a cult?
In a way, yes.
Well, she must have done something right to have survived this long.
She was her own brand of ruthless. That much is true. But even rats can cling to a vessel for escape.
Okay, so I've had run-ins with a handful of Zeniths. What about the rest?
An array of the wealthiest people on Earth. Titans of their industries.
And let me guess. All selfish and ruthless to the core?
Most, but not all. There were a few with whom I got along. Annika Murjani, for instance, was always delightful. She founded the HoloNet's most successful dance channel and was herself mesmerizing to watch. And I had fascinating discussions with Song Jiao about her work in cellular biology. Our immortality treatments are due in part to her achievements. But then there were others like Devin Miller, the CEO of a fast food printing corporation. His only real preoccupations were perfecting his golf swing and taking self-hollows. When I think about all of us, we really should have accomplished more. We had eternity.
You said before that you're not like the other Zeniths. That you never were. But you went along with all of their plans.
Out of necessity. I'm not proud of it. But complicity became a means of survival, both when Earth was consumed and when the colony on Sirius was destroyed. I did what I had to. But I resolved to remain one step ahead of the others, to try to undo what damage I could. Hence the data channel with Beta. The secret passage into their base and the little trick I pulled to save you.
Why did you make the data channel look like your house?
I built that house as a shelter to weather any storm. A safe place, not just for me, but for the art stored in its depths, cultural artifacts of incalculable value. Truly, some of the greatest achievements of human civilization.
And you wanted Beta to see them?
Yes. Her upbringing was so cold and technical. I thought if she could experience Vermeer and Rembrandt, it would bring something else into her life. A heritage every bit as valuable as the scientific and technical data being drummed into her. I'm sorry I had to cut off contact, but I'll never regret sharing this house with her. She needed its shelter even more than I did.
Why do you think Elizabeth pulled away?
I've wondered that for 1,000 years. She was brilliant, visionary. She cared so deeply for the world, for the betterment of humanity. But it also felt like she kept everyone at arm's length, including me. She never wanted to share her burdens. I think, in the end, she had a core that she never let anyone be part of. Sometimes I wonder if anyone really knew her.
I found a recording of you and Elizabeth back in the proving lab after Far Zenith's attempt to steal Gaia.
Yes. A most unpleasant conversation.
She said something after the call. I think she regretted how things ended between you.
Did she? All this time, thank you for telling me. I've always hated that those were the last words we ever said to each other. And that her last impression of me was as a functionary of Far Zenith, not who I truly am.
I should be going.
I'll be making final preparations.
Okay, last one. Let's talk to Silence. I don't think there is actually anything new from him, though. We probably already got everything in that last time we talked to him, but it is at the very least worth checking out. But of course, there is, well, there's one other person I need to talk to once all is said and done after that. So, Silence, where the heck are you? I always get so confused running around this place. All right, so as it turns out, that is actually the last conversation that we need to have before we call this an episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Silence doesn't really have anything else for us, and who else I was going to talk to doesn't really have anything either. We pretty much got everything out of the way that we needed to. So all that remains, of course, is the final battle. Let's head on in here. Let's make sure Singularity is active. We need to go to the rendezvous point all the way down on the beaches, way down this way. If I remember correctly, there's actually a Dreadwing right next to it. So I'm going to try my absolute best to avoid that once we get down to that campfire. But next episode, guys, is the big one. Hope you're all looking forward to it. It's going to be a full episode, no cutting it. We're going to be doing the entire mission in one. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.